Welcome everyone to this funding announcement. We are currently using the Zoom webinar format, and only those people who are here as panelists will be speaking. Before we get started, I would like to inform the media in attendance that we have planned for a Q&A period after the speeches are delivered. I will explain how that will work once we get to that part of the agenda. It is my pleasure to welcome MP Tim Lewis to speak.
You're muted, Tim.
There we go. Thank you and good morning. Thanks for your worship for reminding me of that and for hosting this virtual event. Good morning to Kitchener-Conestoga's Member of Provincial Parliament, Mike Harris, and good morning to the Honourable Laurie Scott, Ontario's Minister of Infrastructure. And good morning to all our viewers. I'd like to acknowledge that the land that which we're making this virtual announcement on is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee peoples. Speaking to you virtually today certainly reminds us how the world has changed over the last few months and how we've had to adapt while living through a global pandemic. We know how important it is for all orders of government to focus on health and well-being of our citizens as we deal with this pandemic, and we're taking steps to move forward, and today's announcement is a sign of that evolution. That's why I'm pleased to join the province, 10 municipalities, and 1 First Nation to announce support for 11 road and bridges infrastructure projects in Western Ontario. The government of Canada is investing over $13.2 million in these projects. The projects involve increasing road safety and reliability, improving flow of traffic, and preventing future flooding in rural communities. In Wilmot, for example, a 1-lane bridge will be replaced with a 2-lane concrete structure, which will remove height and weight restrictions, reduce the risk of flooding, and increase traffic circulation. Additionally, the Chippewas of Nawash Unceded First Nation, 23 culverts will be replaced, preventing road washouts and increasing the service life of connected roadways. Our government is working closely with the provinces, municipalities, partners, and stakeholders to get projects built quickly, projects that make a difference in the lives of Canadians in these trying times. Through our historic Investing in Canada plan, we're delivering on our promise to build sustainable, resilient communities. And here in Ontario, we've invested over $7.6 billion through our infrastructure plan towards more than 2,500 projects across the province, projects that are strengthening our communities. The health and safety of all Canadians remain our top priority, but we are proud to support projects that will create employment and stabilize our economy during these trying times. Projects that ensure that Canadian communities remain among the best places to live, work, and raise a family. This is critical to our country's recovery as we move forward and build our future. Together, we'll improve the well-being of all Canadians. Quand le Canada bâtit, le Canada grandit. When Canada builds, Canada grows. Thank you.
Thank you. I now welcome the Honourable Laurie Scott to speak.
Well, thank you so much, and it's an honor to join my federal community partners on this call today as we move forward on improving and upgrading roads and bridges in rural and northern Ontario. Last summer, after a careful review of applications on behalf of the Ontario government, I nominated these 11 projects to the federal government under the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, as we all know as ICIP. Today's announcement of over $7.5 million, along with significant contributions from our federal partners, our communities, and First Nations, means that local residents will have access to better and safer roads and bridges so that we can get where they need to go. A clear example of this is the new concrete bridge in the Township of Wilmot will benefit from. We are investing in the rehabilitation of Bruce County Road 6 East A and the replacement of McEwen Bridge and Bridge 0013 in the Saugeen Shores and Brockton. In West Grey County, and the municipality of Erin Elderslie, we are making investments to replace roads and bridges. And of course, in Chippewas of Nawash Unceded First Nation, our investment will prevent road washouts. We are investing in and protecting what matters most to these communities. This is so residents can get to work or to the hospital or a restaurant and back home safely and on time. Across the province, we are investing more than $167 million in road, bridge, air, and marine infrastructure over 10 years through the rural and northern stream of ICIP. Overall, the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program will unlock up to $30 billion in cost-shared funding. We will continue to work closely with our federal government partners to secure more project approvals. I want to thank the First Nation partners, all of the local governments, and the federal government for their significant investments in these projects. Today's announcement is one of many that will follow to strengthen our communities, provide more reliable infrastructure, and create new jobs all across our great province. We are committed to providing predictable, secure infrastructure funding to address local and provincial needs. Ontario is investing in shovel-ready projects, including the ones being announced today, which will create jobs and help the economic recovery efforts. Together with my provincial counterparts, Minister Thompson, Minister Walker, and Parliamentary Assistant Harris, I look forward to continuing to work with all our partners to help build a better foundation and infrastructure for communities right across the province, so that our residents, our businesses, and our children can thrive well into the future. So thank you so much for the opportunity today.
Thank you. I now welcome Mayor Armstrong and Mr. Patrick Kelly from the Township of Wilmot to speak.
Thank you. Good morning all, and welcome to Wilmot Township virtually. On behalf of my peers on Wilmot Council, the Township is appreciative of our partners at the federal government for providing funding towards replacement of the Bridge Street Bridge. This bridge has been closed on multiple occasions in the state of disrepair, and the investment is crucial to ensuring the longevity of this structure as a thoroughfare for east-west travel, ensuring safe and efficient movement of large farming equipment in addition to general traffic. We recently approved consulting engineering services and are very much looking forward to getting the project moving forward. Mr. Kelly.
The replacement of Bridge Street Bridge has continually been identified by the township through our ongoing asset management efforts, and given the lack of internal fiscal capacity to complete a replacement of this magnitude, minor repairs have been completed every 3 to 5 years just to maintain safe access. This tri-party infrastructure funding program allows for our partners at the federal government, provincial government, and ourselves at the municipality to share in the class environmental assessment, design engineering, project management, and construction costs up to December 31st, 2026. Staff appreciate the longer time frame for this program, which will ensure adequate opportunity to undertake the necessary due diligence efforts through a Class EA process and stakeholder consultations. The total investment from all 3 levels of government towards the reconstruction of Bridge Street Bridge is estimated at just over $3.5 million. And from a staff perspective, we're pleased to see the commitment from our senior government partners, the offices of both MP Tim Lewis and MPP Mike Harris, in supporting infrastructure in rural Ontario. Staff identified funding as our main obstacle to the ability to repair and replace Bridge Street Bridge. Our application was a team-based effort, well aligned with the objectives of the ICIP funding program. And this investment will greatly assist in Wilmot's ability to continue providing safe, sustainable infrastructure to our community. We continue to support the federal and provincial governments in their efforts towards stable and predictable funding for municipal infrastructure, and look forward to continuing to work in a collaborative manner with the teams at both MP Lewis and MPP Harris's offices. Back to you, Mayor Armstrong.
Thank you, Patrick. I want to express thanks to MP Lewis for his team's support on this ICIP initiative. ICIP funding will allow Wilmot to move forward on critical infrastructure works to support our rural farming community. We continue to look forward to more opportunities to share the key infrastructure initiatives to drive our local, provincial, and national economy forward. We stand with all municipalities across the province in the call for continued funding support from federal and provincial governments as we work together to safely reopen our economy. So thank you very much again for everyone showing up. Thank you, Minister, for arriving, and MPP Mr. Harris and MP Lewis. I appreciate your participation and your support that we always get from your offices. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We've now come to the media Q&A. Media are asked to use the raise hand icon and wait for me to acknowledge them. The order of questions will be determined by who raises their hand first. If I deem any questions or use of language inappropriate, I will have no choice but to mute your microphones. So does anyone have any questions? Namish, you can go ahead. If you could introduce yourself, please.
Chris Namish from the New Hamburg Independent. I'm not sure if you guys had talked about a timeline there, but maybe I missed it. But is there a timeline on when the bridge is set to be finished, I guess, or a target?
I can probably take that one for you, Mayor Armstrong.
Yes.
Through the mayor. So recently at Wilmot Council, we did approve preliminary engineering contracts to K-Smart and Associates, who are going to undertake the leadership of our class environmental assessment. That will kind of indicate the plans, the reconstruction timelines for the bridge itself. But as noted within my comments originally, we do have until 2026 to complete the works. We plan to start the works well in advance of that deadline over the next 1 to 2 years.
Thank you. That's all I have for now.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? I don't believe there's any more questions, so that brings us to the end of our conference. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
So
you.
much.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
That